When you get married, life seems full of promises and possibilities, and many couples can't wait to start a family. But when that doesn't happen, it can be devastating. One couple felt compelled to take their struggle to the internet, so they created a viral video that touched thousands, including us. Here's their story.
Matt and I met our junior year of high school in Spanish class. We're high school sweethearts.
I knew from that point on, that was it. Here we are, 15 years later.
We had been married 2 months.
And I was actually diagnosed with testicular cancer. I was 22 years old.
I just remember thinking, is this really our life? How is this happening?
I was hopeful I wasn't gonna have to do chemotherapy, but it turned out I did have to end up doing 4 rounds.
When they got the test results back, I remember him looking at us and saying, you're in remission, which was, I mean, even now I get really, it was the best news ever. And he's been cancer-free ever since.
We were married about 5 years before we really said, let's try to start building that family that we've always talked about having.
Based off of Matt's history, we pretty quickly knew that we might need to start talking to a fertility specialist.
Started pursuing different IVF treatments, all unfortunately failed.
It's incredibly taxing, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. And then I got the news that I had breast cancer. It was stunning to hear the words, "You have cancer," for a second time in our collective lives. I just completely broke down. It was a really painful time for me, but we started investigating adoption.
Financially, of course, it's very expensive.
But there's nothing more I've wanted in my whole life than to be a mom.
It absolutely will be a dream come true to adopt a child.
It's an exciting thing to think about and something that we are very much ready to do.
And joining me now from Falls Church, Virginia, is Heidi and Matt Cahill. Welcome to you both.
Thank you so much.
I know that's even hard to watch back because I could see you tearing up. You've been through so much, so many heart-wrenching decisions that you had to make very early on in your marriage. What was the most difficult time for you, Heidi?
I think the most difficult time was just thinking that your best friend could die.
Yeah.
It's just a real experience. I think at 22 and 23, you feel like you have your whole life ahead of you, all your plans and everything. And so the thought of that coming to a premature end is very sobering. But I think our experiences, both individually and collectively with cancer, has really instilled what our values are and just a deeper appreciation for life in general.
Right.
Everyone says adoption is a really hard process, and it is, but we've already faced some significant challenges, obviously, and so we are prepared for this one as well.
Exactly. You already know what it is to struggle through situations. It is a hard process, and it was not something that a decision that you came to lightly. In fact, you said that you went through a mourning period before you made the decision to adopt, and that's very important to do.
Absolutely. I think it's human nature to want to have biological kids, and when that is something that isn't a possibility for you, it's devastating. I think it's really important to have that mourning process so that when you are ready to move forward, you are wholeheartedly doing it.
I think it's a natural curiosity, of course, to what genes are you going to pass down to your children? You know, who are they going to look like? Whose personalities are they going to have? And while we're never going to have that opportunity, we are very confident that we are going to be parents still one day.
Once you made the decision, we want to adopt and started the process, did your medical history, was it held against you?
It's actually surprising. A lot of agencies do not allow you to adopt. Several of them have policies in place to say you have to be in remission between 1 and 5 years before they will consider you. And we were very fortunate to find 2 very quality agencies, one in the D.C. area and then one in Illinois, because we were always going to be Midwesterners at heart. And they, you know, with written notes from our doctors, approved us through our home study process and our social worker to say, yes, you're perfectly healthy. And so we are officially approved to adopt.
Which is fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
And I know that you're in the pipeline, essentially.
We are.
You could get that call any day saying, we have a baby for you. Do you sit by the phone? Or every time it rings, do you jump a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
A lot bit.
So actually, just yesterday, we were in New York waiting, and I got a call from our agency, and it was just a check-in, a check-in call.
You see it on the caller ID, though, and you're
your
like,
heart starts beating, and it's hard to live in that. It could be today, tomorrow, next week, a year from now, or never.
Yeah.
And so we try not to live waiting for that, but it's tough.
They were just calling to check
yeah.
in and see how we were doing.
You mentioned that it is expensive. How expensive are you talking about?
Yeah, so most adoptions are between $40,000 and $50,000, which is obviously a lot of money, and ours will probably be on the upper end of that because we did decide to use 2 different agencies.
Right.
But, you know, you pay for things like medical expenses for the birth mother, legal expenses, all the adoption training, CPR classes we had to attend, and we've already had to put up $16,000 just to be in the 2 agencies waiting
And
pool,
I know
so.
that you've drained your savings 3 times already, which is part of the reason why you created this crowd fundraising page and the viral video that was viewed by thousands. Are you surprised by the response?
Yes, we were. We talked a lot about whether we wanted to just put our life out there so publicly, and I think we ultimately did. Obviously, adoption's expensive. It was humbling. We raised over $10,000 in the first 48 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
But you're still about $15,000 shy of your goal, so you can complete the adoption process, and that's a lot. What you may not know is this is Surprise Week on our show, and we thought, who could we surprise? And we figured you guys might be perfect. So there's someone in the audience who has a surprise for you. Danielle, take it away.
Heidi and Matt, what you are doing is so important. I myself am adopted, so I know how amazing it is to be adopted by a family. And on behalf of my family and the National Adoption Foundation, we would like to present to you $15,000.
That'll complete it. Tell me what you're feeling right now.
I mean, I think we can all agree this is absolutely going to be life-changing for us.
Words cannot express it. Thank you.
Of course, of course. And if it's a boy or a girl that you adopt, Meredith works either way.
We will keep that in mind.
That's okay. I know you're going to love the baby so much. I wish you the best as you build your family.
Thank you so much.
Our thanks to the Goldberg family, the National Adoption Foundation, and to Heidi and Matt for sharing their story.